Imagine you are hiking alone. The sun is setting. You stepped off the trail hours ago to take a picture, and now you don't recognize a single tree. You are lost. Your phone has no signal. You have one bottle of water left, a granola bar, and a light jacket. Panic sets in. Your heart rate spikes. Your brain screams at you to do something. In this moment, your instincts will take over. You will feel a powerful urge to make specific decisions to save your life. But here is the terrifying reality. Your instincts are wrong. Search and rescue data reveals a tragic pattern. Most people who die in the wilderness didn't die because they lacked equipment. They died because they made a series of common sense decisions that turned out to be fatal errors. They did exactly what they saw in the movies, and it cost them their lives. There is one specific decision number 2 on this list, that 90% of lost people make immediately. It feels like the smartest thing to do. It feels disciplined, but physiologically, it destroys your cognitive function within hours. If you make this mistake, you will die with resources still in your backpack that could have saved you. In this video, we are deconstructing the 5 survival decisions people always get wrong. We are pitting Hollywood myths against biological facts to ensure that if you ever walk into the woods, you walk back out. Let's start with the first impulse, the urge to walk. When we realize we are lost, our fight or flight response kicks in. The adrenaline tells us, I can't just sit here, I have to find the trail. So people start walking. They walk faster and faster, convinced that the parking lot is just over the next ridge. This is the mobility trap. Search and rescue teams have a saying, a moving target is impossible to hit. When you are lost, you are a tiny dot in a massive grid. If you stay put, the search area is fixed. Rescuers can grid search that area and find you. But if you keep moving, you are constantly expanding the search radius. You are walking out of the zones they have already cleared. Furthermore, statistics show that panicked hikers almost always walk away from civilization, not toward it. Without a compass, humans have a natural tendency to walk in circles because one leg is dominant over the other. You will exhaust yourself, burn precious calories, and likely injure yourself on rough terrain, only to end up deeper in the wild. Unless you are in immediate danger from flooding or fire, stop moving. Find an open space nearby, make yourself visible, and wait. You are easier to find if you are a statue, not a runner. This brings us to decision number 2. This is the one I warned you about in the beginning. You have half a liter of water left. You don't know when you will be found, so your brain tells you, I must ration this. I will only take a tiny sip every hour to make it last for 2 days. This is called voluntary dehydration, and it is a killer. Here's the physiology. Your brain needs water to process information. Mild dehydration leads to confusion, poor judgment, and lethargy. In a survival situation, your greatest asset is your intelligence. If you ration your water, you are intentionally degrading your brain function at the exact moment you need it most. Search and rescue teams frequently find bodies of hikers who died of heat stroke or complications from dehydration, yet they still had water in their canteens. They were saving it for later. There is no later if you pass out from heat exhaustion today. Water does you absolutely no good inside the bottle. It only works if it is inside your cells. If you are thirsty, drink. Keep your brain sharp and your blood volume high. A clear-headed survivor can find more water. A confused survivor will walk off a cliff while holding a half-full bottle. Now let's talk about priorities. Decision number 3 involves hunger. You are lost. Your stomach starts growling. You think, I need to find food. I need to set snares, hunt, or look for berries. This is the Hollywood effect. We watch survival shows where the host spends 3 days hunting a wild boar. In reality, prioritizing food is a waste of time and energy. Remember the rule of 3s. You can survive 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter in extreme weather, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. You might feel uncomfortable being hungry, your stomach will hurt, you'll get a headache, but you will not die of starvation for a very long time. However, many lost hikers waste their daylight hours trying to build complicated traps or searching for edible plants. While they are busy playing hunter-gatherer, the sun goes down, the temperature drops 30 degrees, and because they were focused on food, they didn't build a shelter. Now they're facing hypothermia, the 3-hour killer, because they were worried about the 3-week killer. Ignore your hunger, it's just a feeling. Prioritize shelter and fire. Do not spend a single calorie chasing squirrels until your thermal safety is guaranteed. Decision number 4 is a classic myth passed down by grandfathers and Boy Scouts everywhere. If you are lost, find a river and follow it downstream. It will lead to a town. On a map, this looks like solid logic. Water flows to bigger water, and towns are built on water. But on the ground, following a river is often a suicide mission. Here is the geographic reality. Rivers do not always flow through nice flat meadows. In the wilderness, rivers carve through the path of least resistance. This usually means steep canyons, waterfalls, and dense, impenetrable vegetation. If you follow a river, you are forcing yourself into the most difficult terrain in the area. You will be climbing over wet, slippery rocks. You will be fighting through thick brush that tears your clothes and skin. The noise of the rushing water will drown out the sound of rescue helicopters or search teams calling your name. And worst of all, the air near the water is colder and damper, increasing your risk of hypothermia at night. Instead of going low, go high. Seek a ridge or a clearing. You want to be visible from the air and the ground. You want to be where the sound carries. Unless you're in a flat, open desert, the river is a trap, not a highway. Finally, we arrive at the most controversial mistake. Decision number 5. Night is falling. It's starting to rain. You are cold. You decide, I must build a huge fire. You spend 2 hours gathering wood. You struggle with wet tinder. You use your last match. It flickers and dies. You are now exhausted, wet, in the dark, with no heat source. This is the fire fixation. Fire is amazing. It provides warmth and psychological comfort, but physics dictates that fire is difficult to sustain, especially in bad weather. It requires constant fuel, which means constant energy expenditure from you. Shelter, on the other hand, is passive. A properly constructed debris hut, a shelter made of leaves, branches, and pine needles, works like a sleeping bag. It traps your own body heat. A fire heats one side of you while the other side freezes. A shelter insulates your entire body. Many survivors have been found dead next to the ashes of a failed fire. They spent all their energy trying to spark a flame and had zero energy left to insulate themselves from the wind. Build shelter first, fire second. If you can build a debris hut that's 3 feet thick, you can survive sub-zero temperatures with just your own body heat. Fire is a luxury. Insulation is a necessity. Why do we make these mistakes? Why do we walk when we should sit? Why do we save water when we are dying of thirst? It comes down to control. When we are lost, we feel helpless. Doing something, anything, feels better than doing nothing. Walking feels like progress. Rationing water feels like planning. Hunting feels like surviving. But nature doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about calorie conservation and thermodynamics. Real survival is boring. It involves sitting still. It involves drinking your water. It involves piling up leaves to sleep in. It isn't a macho action movie, it's a waiting game. So let's recap the protocol for when the map stops making sense. Don't move, stay put and become a visible target. Don't ration, drink your water to keep your decision-making sharp. Don't hunt, ignore hunger and focus on thermal regulation. Don't follow the river, stay high and dry where you can be seen. And finally, don't obsess over fire. Build a thermal shelter before you try to spark a flame. The wilderness is a neutral place. It isn't trying to kill you, but it won't help you either. The only thing that turns a hike into a tragedy is a bad decision. Now you know the rules. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button so the YouTube algorithm shares this life-saving information with more hikers. Every like helps spread the truth. Stay safe, stay smart, and thanks for watching.